Good morning everybody. Now, second video of the year, first in less than a week. Aren't we lucky? So yeah, I'm hoping to get maybe like one or two of these videos out once a week. Maybe something new, something retro. So since last week was the new one in Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, thank you very much for all of the views and comments that anyone has added. I really appreciate it. So yeah, like I said, that was the new one. So it's time for a retro one. Today's retro one is a bit of an odd choice. One I am actually surprised I had never seen before, and now that I have, I'm all the better for it. So yes, I am talking about The Sound of Music. Now I know what you're thinking, someone like me watching a film like that, yeah, I gotta be honest, it's one that has somewhat appealed to me, but I've never been like, oh yes, I must watch this. But now that I have, I'm so happy that I did. For a film that's now officially 55 years old, it is it still looks fresh to this day. The scenery of the Austrian Alps is just magnificent. So for anybody who doesn't know about what The Sound of Music is, I'm just going to give you a short lowdown. Maria is a nun who works in a monastery in the Austrian Alps. She's she's not your most conventional nun by any stretch. She's a lot reserved than most nuns in that monastery. So sort of the other nuns decide that, okay, let's give us something else to do. Down the road lives a sea captain, and his 7 children, and he needs a governess to look after the children since the passing of his late wife. So therefore, the nunnery packs her off to work for the governess. To work as a governess for the sea captain and his 7 children, and it's worth noting that this is set just before the outbreak of World War II and the first year or so of World War II. In the beginning, it's just used as a backdrop. Along the side, it does come as a major plot piece. So here we are. Basically, these children, they run with a iron fist of discipline by their father and other governesses. But this one's different. She teaches them to sort of, embrace themselves, be happy. It's I didn't mention this before. It is a musical. It has lots of memorable songs in it. Very quite catchy. What I think is quite good about The Sound of Music is, even though you haven't seen it, and if you haven't seen it, you're aware of some of the songs, Favourite Things, How to Solve a Problem, like Maria, many great memorable songs, and of course, most importantly, the Sound of Music and Farewell, Goodbye, as they call it. I've got to mention completely the 2 main cast members of this film, Christopher Plummer and Julie Andrews. Julie Andrews plays Maria, and Christopher Plummer plays the sea captain. 2 fantastic actors and actresses that are still alive today and still churning out brilliant films. So that's one thing that we're thankful for. It's funny, you see Christopher Plummer in this, and you see him in recent films since Knives Out, and he still has that trademark smirk, that really plays well. Julie Andrews, of course, her other most famous role, as a lot of people know, is Mary Poppins. And speaking of Mary Poppins, even though this came out the year after Mary Poppins, it does draw similarities to it in terms of uplifting and that, because If you remember, like Mary Poppins, like the dad like wasn't like a widower, like but the dad had lost his ways in terms of like learning like to have fun, and this magical nanny comes in to sort of like uplift the children. Like Maria's character, like she's a nun and she's a governess, but sort of like as the governess, like she is sort of a fancy name, like for a nanny. And the dad, of course, he's upset and sad that like he's lost his wife, and sort of like the fact that sort of like she comes in as a breath of fresh air and makes him smile again. I would say the only similarities, like the only differences between something like Sound of Music and Mary Poppins, you could say is not only the settings. There's no animated sequence, but in terms, they're both uplifting musicals. They both have great casts, chewable scenery. Like there was no war going on during the like Mary Poppins, like the Sound of Music. So as the film progresses, the dad finally confesses his love for like Maria, despite him courting a baroness from Austria to look after the children. He sort of toys like the idea, like, but even like the baroness says, look, as much as I want you, I know that you want her. So they get married and they go off on honeymoon. Whilst they're on honeymoon, like as everyone like who knows like their history could see it coming, they return to the Nazis have taken over most of Europe, and as a sea captain, like he's press ganged into joining the Third Reich. Reluctantly, he doesn't want to. That's not doing it. Reluctantly, like he realizes that he must, even though like he doesn't. So they stage a decoy. One of like the many great plot points is that as much as it is a musical, they do sing. The family, and as a lot of people have probably heard the phrase the Von Trapp singers, therefore they decide to have a music festival during like the town hall, and they realise this as a decoy, that whilst they're doing this they can aid their escape out of Austria into neighbouring Switzerland, where of course a lot of people may or may not know that during the war Switzerland was a neutral barrier for a lot of people. See, like these things are a lot informative, like as well as fun. I know a lot about history, so for there you go. Like one day, like I might start like a history channel. So there's one thing that I can say, like that I am very like informative, like when it comes to history. So yes, back to that. They decide to aid their recovery, to go out to Switzerland by planning a decoy, thanks to their uncle Max, who acts as a shady conformist type character. Like one of them like who's pure Austrian, but wants to sort of be with the in crowd. Like I say, there are so many memorable songs in this film. Like another one, the Auf Wiedersehen Goodbye song. When you see it for the first time, it works in a good setting of a party where just before, like it said, where the captain realizes like how much like he adores like Maria. And of course, it's a song that helps them aid their escape out of Austria, and it ends with them being off to Switzerland, where they reside. It's funny, we've never had a sequel to The Sound of Music, but I suppose there is maybe grounds to sort of see of what would happen next in terms of they go to Switzerland. You know, lots of the Nazis find them, lots they catch them, lots they come back. You know, it's all possibilities. And I did reference Mary Poppins earlier. They did finally make a sequel to that. So you know, if Emily Blunt is ever available, I suppose like that she can don like another one of Julie Andrews' famous characters. So Emily Blunt, pick up the phone and let's have The Sound of Music too. But so a lot of people are gonna be thinking, okay, why recommend this film? Well, I'm going to recommend it simply on a number of things. If you love musicals, tick. If you love great acting, tick. If you love films where there's a lot of chewable, majestic scenery, check. And just sort of the pureness that there's not many films like this anymore, or made. It purely is a Hollywood film. It's a film that has old values as well as modern values, and that's what I love. You know, it's been shown on TV countless of times, countless of years. I mean, like, I actually am amazed it's taken me this long to actually see like this film. Like, even though I've said, you know, throughout, I've never like sort of like had a desirable interest to watch it. But now, like, I'm glad like I have, like, because sort of like as I like was watching it, I was thinking, how have I missed out lot on this? This film is fantastic. It's really well made. Even like the fact that it's 55 years old, it still holds up. You know, it's one of those rare films that you could say is timeless. Because like I'd like to think in 50 years' time again, that there'll be someone like me talking about the magnificence of this film, and it really is quite amazing. I will warn people, it is a long film. It does like just clock under 3 hours, 2 hours and 45 minutes to be precise. If you enjoy it, it doesn't feel like it. I think the problem was I remember them putting it on at school for us, and that's where I've seen it, like bits and pieces of it, like watching it at school like all them years back, and you know, an 8 to 10-year-old boy, he's not really gonna be in this. You know, I think like the teacher just put it on. Because I seem to remember that the other film like we'd always watch at school during like rainy days and stuff like was like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, and I'm pretty sure like, our teacher just sort of said, "Oh, I'm sick and tired of playing like this Willy Wonka video. I'm going to have to keep like rewinding it because you ask for it every day. Come on, it's England. It rained a lot, so like a lot of the time, like during play, we would watch films, and one of them was The Sound of Music. It didn't interest me then, but now, yeah, I definitely like enjoy it, and I heavily recommend it to anybody like who loves films or just wants a good bit like of entertainment. I do believe it's playing on the iPlayer for a couple more days at the very least. If not, get down to CEX, Amazon, you know, various cinemas like will re-release it, I'm sure. After all, like I say, it is the 55th anniversary like this year, so it might get like a re-release. I definitely think it's one that like they should see in the cinema as well. You know, if they did give like a real like 4K restoration to it, there's no reason why it shouldn't like be done. So that's amazing to watch. So verdict time. Rating stars, what to give. I'm gonna give it, and I know I do give a lot of films like 5 out of 5, but come on, there are films that deserve it, and some films like that don't, but this is one that deserves it, so I am going to give it 5 stars out of 5. So there we go. The Sound of Music, Christopher Plummer, Julie Andrews, magnificent film, really does stand the test of time. Just simply wow. Get the to a DVD player. Yep, not often say get thee to a cinema, but get thee to a DVD or Blu-ray player, or get thee to a cinema if they do decide to release it throughout the year. But I can't recommend this film more than enough, so please do, please enjoy it. Anybody who wants to leave any comments, please do so below. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and thank you all for watching, and have a very awesome day. Bye bye.